Yeah. I'm not here for the bullshit tonight. This is Clippers Talk. After dark.
Here we go, Clips fans.
Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. After every game, download every pod. Clippers Talk's the name. He's a basketball talking golden god.
New episodes after every game on demand.
Follow Clippers Talk wherever you get your podcasts.
Clippers.
This is where I'm supposed to say, we're so back. What's up, D. Damari? Punk's Gone Wrong. Divine Hammer 2000. Good to see you guys. It's been a long time since I've done a show from an undisclosed location in Burbank in my car. Let me lock the doors. But I may get too loud for my neighbors, but not the horses that are in Burbank by the Equestrian Center. Roger's in here. Clippers are going through it. D. Damari. So are we. Clipper Nation. We're in this together. Allie, Andy, good to see you guys. I miss doing these shows. I had a little extra time tonight. I will dedicate it to Clipper Nation because it is an honor to be able to be a part of this, even during times like this. Quick heads up, the Spotify for the Blue Clippers logo where we post all the post-game shows is down right now. I don't know why the link got broken. It still works on Apple. It still works everywhere else. But the Spotify for the Blue Clippers logo where you get the post-game shows down. The Spotify with the red Clippers logo, Clippers OT, Clippers Talk OT, that's still working just fine. So, that Mexican Nara in here. Deca Fantastic said lock them up. What are we talking about? I'm already locked in my car. Oh, me locking the doors. It's pretty safe here. Every once in a while, I suspect a drug deal going down near this park, but outside of that, I'm good. This Clippers team is 4-10, and they're in Orlando tomorrow, and they will not have Kawhi Leonard for that game either. I'll tell you what I will definitely not be doing. Things may be dark. It's Clippers Talk after dark, but I'm not joining the Lakers. I'm not going anywhere. Leo and the Wolf of Wall Street. Tom's in here. Appreciate you guys joining. I've got 40% of battery life left, so I probably got 45 minutes left here. So I'll stick with you. Let me know if the stream is of quality. Damn, I swear I just saw something. That was weird. It was like ghostly mist in front of my car, like an orb. Wow. Clippers Talk after dark for real. Getting a little concerned. What do I have here as a weapon to fight ghosts? Oh, don't they tell you like use your keys? They tell this is like a 90s thing for females walking to their car alone at night. You know, you use your keys like Wolverine. You make them your blades. Punk said, I see dead people. I don't see a dead Clippers team. The last 3 games, I've seen signs of life. I have. I absolutely have. Unfortunately, they're still 1-2 over those last 3 games, and they were not rewarded. The game in Boston, James Harden has a great look at a 3-pointer to tie it. Often unbelievable inbounds play. The game in Philly on Monday. Yeah, that was Monday because we had 2 days off. Game tomorrow in Orlando. The game in Philly, bad call at the end. Real bad call. I don't like how the 2-minute report only said he was fouled on the wrist. What about impeding his landing? Quentin Grimes did that too. That could have been a flagrant. If they reviewed that, that could have been a reckless closeout. People are bringing in trades here. We'll get to some of those. Someone saying Zach LaVine for Collins and Bogey. Bach Production said boo regarding the ghost I thought I saw. I'm not a sellout like Jovan. I love Jovan Buha. Jovan wasn't working for the Clippers. He was covering the Clippers. He didn't sell out by then covering the Lakers. We are asking a seemingly unsustainable amount from James Harden. I agree with this, Scott. This is not going to hold up. In fact, the last game, James Harden had 17 points in the first quarter against Philly, and then he was like 2 for 15 afterwards. It was bad. He went 0 from 3 afterwards. I think it was 0 for his next 5 or 7. But what are you supposed to do? The best offense comes from him. We got Matthew in here saying it might be me and you against the world, Adam. Me against the world, baby. We're trending in the right direction. The Dubs will come. The Warriors, the wins. We're finishing top 6. So I did have a thought earlier today. I did have a thought at the gym when I was contemplating doing this show, Clippers Talk After Dark. My first one in a long time. I am hyper-focused now on just getting the 6th seed. I know. 14 games in, it sucks to be talking about the 6th seed might be their ceiling. That's where we were to start last season, where before the season we were just stay out of the play-in. If they could just stay out of the play-in somehow. And then they ended up winning 50 games, got the 5 seed. If you get the 6th seed, here's my logic. You're likely going to miss OKC and Denver in the first round. You might get the Lakers. You might get Houston. But I could live with that over OKC or Denver in the first round. And it means you'll miss OKC in the second round because the number 1 seed plays the winner of the 4-5. So if you ended up winning in the 6-3 matchup, you'll get the number 2 seed. That's how I'm feeling right now. Now, another week and a half, not even a week and a half, another 5 days of losses by this Clippers team. Let's say they finish the road trip. There's 4 games left. They go 1-3. Oh, great. Here's a night runner. Props. Or it's a ghost. If they go 1-3 the last 4 games of this road trip, then they're 5-13. Then the 6th seed's probably out too. Then you're just talking play-in and maybe the 8th, 9th, or 10th spot. So yeah. Earlier today, I'm with you, Matthew. I was still feeling like just get the 6th spot. Just get that. Okay, I think I know what the ghost was earlier. It was the reflection of cars driving by in the background off of the car that I'm parked behind. Solve that mystery. Nancy drew that shit. Hardy boys, it ain't that hard. Alex said we're going to be a play-in team for sure. 8, 9, 10 seed aren't good either. A play-in team is more likely. I'm saying at best right now, they're probably the 6th seed. But that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because you'd probably not get OKC or Denver in the first round. You definitely aren't getting OKC. No, I think they played a little bit better as a team too as of late, and the numbers bear that out. If you look over the last 3 games, I know these numbers aren't groundbreaking, but compared to where they were at or where they are on the season, the numbers have improved. Last 3 games, Clippers offensively are 14th. That's better. And defensively 16th. That's better. I know. Incremental improvement. I'll take it over where they are on the season, 21st offensively and 24th defensively. So things are trending in the right direction the last 3 games. How about that? Collins got worse in the starting lineup. Collins will change everything. He just has to be starting. What's Coach Lue doing? Yeah, how about that? He is having a tougher time figuring things out in the starting lineup. I told you, La Murray came on and said he had talked to coaches and they said he wasn't up to speed. And that was the reason he wasn't in the starting lineup, most likely. Although you can argue if it's between him or Beal, Beal probably had the promise that he was going to be a starter during their pitch meeting. And they still wanted a point of attack defender in there, so that means no Collins that way. But the point is, Law said that, yes, there was issues with him picking up the offense and the defense. Are you seeing that now? I am. Now, he had a much better game against Boston than he did against Philly. And I still want him in there because long-term, they need him to figure it out. But it was not the cure-all, as I tried to tell you all. Oh, blaming Coach Lue. He doesn't want John Collins in there. How could they do that? They're ruining the season because of that. Plot twist, he actually has looked worse in the starting lineup. Alex said Kawhi is on the court, I guess. That's good news. Where'd you hear that? I am in the Bat Cave. Holy fucking shit, Batman. It's dark and cold out here. Sorry, isn't that what Dick Grayson would say? Something like that. What happened to the defense? They're disconnected. They've now lost DJ, but even when they had him, the numbers are just so much worse this season. I think it's just a lot of guys not being on the same page. I think it's been an effort issue at times, an urgency issue at times. She said the play-in also sound good. Yeah, but if you get out of the play-in, you're going to play OKC or Denver. So it doesn't sound great. That Mexican R said, if Harden asked to be traded, would you entertain a Freddie and Reed or Freddie and a future first? Who are you talking about? Be more specific. Fred VanVleet? They do not need Sabonis for Zoo. Sabonis makes way more and is a way worse defender. No, I don't think that's the answer. If you get Sabonis without giving up Zoo, but even then, guys, Sabonis' contract. Do you want to know why the Kings have never had a good defense? Because part of the reason is Sabonis isn't the best rim defender, and him playing the center is problematic. But he's not a good enough shooter to play the 4. That is not the answer. Sabonis makes, compared to Zoo having the best contract in the NBA, Sabonis is making more than twice as much. And his contract goes until 2028. So it's going to limit you from being able to bring in guys, not just this summer, but in 2027. He's making $42 million this year, 45 after that, 48 after that. No, not the answer, not the plan. We're not doing that. It is not the answer. You cap your ceiling pretty low having Sabonis as your starting center. Alex Webb said, hard to believe this team won't have a run at some point when Kawhi comes back. Seems like it happens every year. Look, with the way they played the last 3 games, to me, this was more about missing talent than effort or urgency like we saw early on in the season that just wasn't where it needed to be. If Kawhi comes back and they can pair Kawhi with the way they've been playing the last 3 games and marry those two things with the talent and the effort they've been playing with and how hard and how much they've been fighting, then you might have something. That's the solution or the formula for the turnaround. Look, it's okay to be a John Collins advocate. I get it. I want him in the starting lineup too. But like so many people are freaking out and calling Lou all kinds of things, acting like that was going to be the answer, and that was putting far too much pressure on John Collins and kind of showing your basketball knowledge. That was never going to be the cure-all. Yes, Vica Zubac might be able to get you the biggest haul. He would be able to. He also only makes $20 million. So you're getting back another player that makes around that. Now you could say if they're giving up 2 or 3 first-round picks, there's some Godfather offer. Maybe you entertain it if the season completely falls off the rails. Yeah, Collins dribbling is an issue at times, but he's just not a self-creator. The Clippers don't have enough of those. Bach said, I like the fight I've seen the last few games. A couple call and shots, and we are winning. Oh, a couple calls from the referees, and we are winning on a winning streak. They're not far away from having won 3 straight. They aren't. But bottom line is they're 4-10. Ex-Mongo Project in here. Roger, I feel like Collins makes a lot of bonehead plays out there like Russ used to do. Well, he's had a lot of turnovers, and you look at his turnover to assist to turnover ratio traditionally throughout his career. He's just not a great playmaker. He doesn't necessarily make the greatest reads out there. That's not one of his strengths. He is a play finisher. David said Collins just needs time to gel with the other starters. Should have been so if he started the year earlier, in my opinion. I don't think like, if he was less up to speed then, things could have been even worse. Now, you may say, how could they be worse? But didn't they start like 3-3 with Kawhi? Idamari, I'm not trying to buy Lou. I just think John Collins doesn't have a right role. What is the right role? What is the perfect role? Like John Collins, you guys gotta understand, these players have to play better too. As much as you want to oversimplify it to just blaming Coach Lou for everything, or at least a lot of people do that, it is a players' league. That's what we talk about all the time. Yet people are so quick to blame coaches. If you don't have the dudes, if you don't have the stars, you're not winning. Yes, you still need coaching. It matters. But the players have to be held accountable too. We've had a lot of guys underperforming so far. That is the biggest issue with this team. Coach Lou didn't say, here's the game plan, turn it over 20 times a game. That's what we want to do here, to turn it over 20 times a game. No. Alex wants Kobe Sanders to continue to start even when Kawhi returns. So do you want Collins out of the starting lineup then? I love Kobe's confidence too. That's nice that you admitted last few games can't blame Lou much. That's great. First Sports Guru. The reason Collins looks so bad is because they don't run a single play for him. He's just play off scraps. Collins isn't a guy you run many plays for is the thing, because he can't put the ball on the floor much. He is a play finisher. I don't know who you guys think John Collins is. First of all, they have run some plays for him. I've seen it out of timeouts and to start halves. You want to blame everybody but the players. That's what everybody wants to do here. No, not everybody. You want to blame Coach Lou. You always, guys, just want to blame Coach Lou. Collins can be used in the pick and roll. Zubac for Sabonis. Let's manifest it, guys. No, this is a straight timeout. I already addressed it. Okay, Clippers Instagram has a picture of Kawhi. I need to see this because that would mean he's at least closer. But I'll have to trust you right now because I'm using my phone for a hotspot. Why did Cam stop getting minutes? He looked good in the minutes he got. Because Kobe Sanders have been playing much better. You can't have it all. We want to play this young guy. Wait, no, this young guy. You're getting Kobe Sanders in the starting lineup right now, who has looked like absolute revelation. But Kobe Sanders has to continue to take and make three-pointers to stare. That's what will save him. That's what will keep getting him minutes. Richard said, I'm confident they will make the 8th seed. So Alex Webb is saying he saw that he was dressed in gear. It looked like he was practicing to me. There's a difference. There's a difference. I need the picture now. I've had enough. I got to do some investigative journalism here. Let's see. Where's Kawhi? I'm in picture 8. Okay. He's huddled up. Yeah. That is encouraging. You're right. That is encouraging. I'd expect him this weekend. There's a back-to-back Saturday and Sunday. You're talking about Reed Shepherd for James Harden? I mean, Ime may have shot down the idea of bringing back Harden a while ago. Yeah, they're not getting him on Amen Thompson for James Harden. Thank you, Alex. A ball knower. Do you understand why the Kings have been so bad defensively for so long? Sabonis is, yes, this is accurate from John McClain. Sabonis is a specific type of big. You need to build a perfect roster for Sabonis, which is hard. Yes, because you need another big that can shoot next to him. You either need a stretch 5 big or a 4 that's a stretch 5 big that's also a rim protector, or a 4 that's a good rim protector on the other end that can shoot. It's too difficult. And he makes over twice as much as Ivica Zubac. He is not twice the player. Here we go. I miss Kai Jones. Sky Jones. Punk's gone wrong. Should we avoid trading for picks until we find out what happens with Kawhi investigations? Can they take away those picks? Well, it's all hypothetical. I will say this. Teams may be hesitant, for those of you who want to blow things up. Teams may be hesitant in trading for Kawhi. First of all, I don't know what you're getting. Second of all, there's an investigation going on, so that might make teams even more cautious with trading for him. Aside from the fact that, you know, he's very injury prone. He's unreliable because of his injury history. And he's got a $50 million contract the next 2 seasons. This one and next year. Look, I get it. People are down on Kawhi right now. Extremely injury prone. First Sports Guru said, Adam, the team will still need a reliable offense outside of Harden pounding the ball and running pick and roll. Yeah, hopefully CP3 gets up to speed at some point. They could really use him. Bogey's been doing a much better job the last few games, bringing the ball up the court. You understand? Harden's playing like 40 minutes a night. He is the system. What can I say about the Cousins comment about Ty? I have speculated about that too before. I have said literally before on here, my criticism is maybe there's a lack of a sense of urgency from the top sometimes, because Coach Lue seems so calm and so collected all the time and so measured. But he's not like that all the time when he's out there on the court coaching. And I can tell you guys from experience, Coach Lue has lit this team up before behind the scenes when need be. Cousins was there for how many games? Oh, by the way, it looked like, when Cousins was there, it was during the 2021 playoff run. So if Coach Lue's demeanor was such a problem, how'd they take Phoenix to 6 in the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi Leonard? We all said they're definitely beating Phoenix with Kawhi. I think they're probably beating Milwaukee. So how much of a problem is it really, his temperament, if they could have won the championship that year? I don't put a ton into that. There could be something to it, but I don't put a ton into it. Because I've thought the same thing at times. I get it. Yeah, like comparing Miles Turner's contract and Brook Lopez. What are we talking about? Trade Kawhi for Asar Thompson and salary fillers and trade Harden for Ahmed. Okay, unserious. That's almost a timeout because it's just so unrealistic. Collins has those butterfingers like Zoo back in the day. I wouldn't say that. First of all, Zoo had broken fingers. Does anybody give him a pass because he was playing through a broken hand? Oh, y'all are so harsh. Macy, trade Zoo and Collins. We can get multiple firsts and a young guy. I don't think you're getting a first for John Collins. He's on an expiring deal. Yes, Zoo. Maybe you get 2 first-round picks for Zoo. Probably do. But Zoo's also only 28. I'm not doing that yet. That's like last resort. That's if you get a Godfather offer. See, this is unreal. Fabian said, trade Batum and Brook and Kobe Brown for younger, faster defenders or faster 3-and-D guys. Who's trading for all of them? They're not trading Batum again. They did it once. Batum's not going anywhere. John McClain said, if you trade Zoo, you better trade him right now or he's hooping because he's like 29 already. I think he's 29 at the end of the season. This is facts. D said being a Clippers fan is not for the weak. Nick said we did not give up Clipper legend Mike Muscala just to trade Zoo away. I like that. People saying trading Zoo's the only way out. That's not true. Guys, look here. I'm going to bring up Clippers salary payroll and share a screen with you guys. The Clippers are one of the better set up teams in the league when it comes to I gotta turn my car on. Look at this. Look at how they have all these contracts set up. It's only Ivica Zubac, Yannick, and Cam Christie on the books in the summer of 2027. Look at how clean their books are. This is brilliant work by the front office. So you're not trading for Sabonis, who then would have $48 million sitting here the summer of 2027. That's going to limit you from getting guys. When you say the only way out is trading Ivica Zubac, it's just not true. First of all, his contract is such a value. Second of all, they are going to be able to reload. Now, I do have some concerns in this era of getting guys without trading for them in free agency. There haven't been many lately that end up going to free agency. There are guys like Giannis is set up to go to free agency. I told everyone this past summer they were dreaming about Luka Doncic. No, he could still be a free agent. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not. He and SGA were set up to be free agents in 2027. And I'm going like, technically that's true, but they're both getting extensions this summer. I told everybody that and they did. So now they no longer are. But this is still great work. J-Dog in here. Giannis is on track to be a free agent then. Sista One is, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're not serious people. Okay, this is funny. Allie said Lawrence Frank needs to have coffee with other GMs and get a Luka type trade. Sure be nice. A Nico offer for Zoo. He can't refuse. It's not a Godfather offer, a Nico offer. That's what we're calling it now. All right, trade me for a first. If that's what it takes for this franchise to get put in a good position, I will sacrifice myself, I suppose, but I don't want to go anywhere. Yes, this is exactly it, John McClain. If Sabonis, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, if Sabonis had Chet or Wemby beside him, then you trade for him. But there's not a lot of Chet and Wembys around the league, so a Sabonis for Zoo straight up makes no sense. Exactly. I've been saying this for years. People used to argue with me about it. Now, after Zubac's last season, they're starting to see the light. Arvin said, Adam, my brother in Christ, we are cooked. Okay, he said, Adam, we are cooked, my brother. I'm not there yet. We might be, but I'm not there yet. Alex said, sit Kawhi Saturday, play him Sunday versus the harder opponent in the Cavs. There's two ways to think about that. That's one. The other is you go for the sure win if you have Kawhi. Sure win in today's NBA if you have Kawhi against Charlotte. Because you could play him against the Cavs and still lose. And then if you don't have him against Charlotte, maybe that game's a lot closer and you could end up losing it still. Clippers are 4-10. They can't be overlooking anybody. I like John McClain. Where have you been all my life? I think you used to come in here. Fans expect Collins to be a normal replacement. Two different players. One is a bucket getter. One needs a playmaker to set him up. This is a good point by Scott. Worried about teams getting the scouting report on Kobe like they did on Miller last year, even though Kobe is more dynamic. Yeah, I haven't seen like as many holes in this game outside of what if they just stop leaving him open as much as they have from three? What if they start closing him out better? Is he going to be good enough attacking those closeouts? They think he is. We've seen it. But my biggest concern with Kobe Sanders is just he starts missing threes. If he starts missing threes, it's a problem. Cross your fingers he continues to make threes because there's going to be come a time he misses 4 or 5 in a row and he's got to stay confident. Keep putting them up. So far, so good. Nick said, I'll never give up on a coach that came back from 3-1. He knows how to curate a locker room. We used to have a coach where teams came back on him down 3-1. Coach who was most known for coming back down 3-1 in that 2016 finals. Some just give all the credit to either Draymond being suspended, which is BS to me. It's like he played in 6 of those games. And he had what in game 7? Draymond had like 30. He had the best shooting game of his career, and they still lost. Or they just give LeBron and Kyrie all the credit. It's like, did you see what some of the lineups were that Coach Lue was putting together with old Richard Jefferson playing meaningful minutes? And then Coach Lue had to light a fire under LeBron at half of game 7. Yeah, no Banchero tomorrow. Some saying anything we can do to get a lottery pick. We need to get in the draft for 2026 so badly. That's a fair point. Like everybody's talking about this 2026 draft being so deep and the Clippers pick is going directly to OKC. Maybe it does put more pressure on them to make a trade if things fall apart here, which it could. They're 4-10. Nick said marriage is scary. What if she doesn't believe in Clips in 5? That Mexican Nara is dooming. Let's be honest, we won't be able to steal a superstar. We are just going to re-sign Y and Harden. I hope you're still here summer of 2027. John McClain said, I feel like SGA, Luka, well, they already signed their extensions, so yeah. Joker and Giannis aren't going anywhere. Joker is another one, but he's extension eligible, I think, after this year or during this year. Yeah, Giannis and the quick flights to Greece, if he stays on the East Coast, is something to be concerned about. Richard said, you all need to stop talking like Laker fans. Healthy team, and we are competitive. Like, there is something to judging a team right now that is missing their best player once again, judging a team as harshly as everyone is. They're 1-7 without their best player. Should they have a win or two more? Maybe. They could have won either of the last 2 games. Teams don't win much without their best player. Nobody's been through this more than the Clippers over the last 6 years. Arvin said there will not be any more eligible in the 27-28 summer. I'm very interested in seeing what the Clippers do. Luckily, the DJ injury, it's a sprain. So he's reevaluated in 6 weeks. That's not season ending. That's not career altering. He should still come back and be the same DJ eventually. Trae Young, I think it's a guy you got to at least talk about. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, Trae Young. My issue is a lot of his numbers have gone down the last 2 seasons in different areas of the floor shooting wise. That worries me. Because if a small guy like that starts to lose his burst and being able to get by guys and quickness, that is concerning. All right. Sista One is getting a timeout for being unproductive and unhelpful. Alex said, probably have to trade our next star, then use our cap space to sign A+ role players that fit. Well, I don't love trade our next star. We're already trading our hypothetical next star. Look, if they don't make progress in the next couple of weeks, next week, week and a half, Kawhi's not back, if more injuries, like more guys missing games, and all of a sudden the Clippers are, let's say, 9-20. The trade talk is going to heat up. I talked about it on Clips and Dip yesterday. I think DJ and Chris Dunn are totally guys that could be traded, that you could get something for. It doesn't mean you're going to get a first-round pick, but you might have to go that direction. And I was listening to 213 Hoops, the Lob Jam, the podcast, and they were saying the same thing. Metal Slug thinks Trae Young his style is aging out. He's going the way of the dodo bird and Ja. We need to do something to get the Pelicans pick from the Hawks and trade Zoo for it. I can't believe Joe Dumars did that. Although Queen has been good. We got Arvin saying Harden 50 ball tomorrow against Orlando. We move, man. Some positivity. Dre Goat said, let's go Clips. It's early. We will be good. Stop worrying. Okay. They're 4-10. I think it's okay to worry a little bit. Fabian said, I like Bogey, but do you think trading away Bogey, Kobe Brown, Jordan Miller be realistic? And if so, would it amount to anything valuable, enough help? Probably not. Kobe Brown and Jordan Miller are about to be 26. Jordan Miller has shown us something. Kobe Brown, unfortunately, hasn't. Bogey does have an expiring like 16 million basically, because I think after this year, his contract is non-guaranteed. So he still has some value as a player, and his contract is cap friendly or team friendly. That is somewhat enticing to a team. Alex Webb said Gilbert Arenas today said, I don't even, I'm not even reading the rest of that. Gilbert Arenas said, I'm done. Nick said 20 losses before 10 wins would be earth shattering. Still going to watch, listen to every game though. I know. We're all shocked. We all expected much better. Even with the injuries, you could have told me all these injuries would have been happening, and I still would have been like, okay, so they're 7-7 after 14 games, not 4-10. Pop said, I think we might have something in Kobe Sanders. Yeah. Guys, I watched every Summer League game. I did post-game shows every Summer League game. I watched him closely. It's the three-point shooting, though, that has to hit. He only shot 33% from three in college in 5 years. So is he having growth in the three-point shooting as a pro? Is it sustainable? Or is he going to regress here? And he's just on a hot shooting run. The form looks good. The release looks good. But he does all the little things you hope for. I've compared him to a 6'7" TJ McConnell. Like, he's making all these winning plays out there. He looks like the moment's not too big for him. He's got a ton of confidence. They must have saw something in practice. I know you guys don't love giving the coaches any credit, but they have started Kobe Sanders, a young guy, a rookie. So he probably was doing something pretty darn good in practice too. And yeah, his defensive effort, even though he lacks athleticism, he's not great. The effort's there. If you can combine that with the IQ, like, he could have a really high floor. Let me put it like that. I don't know what the ceiling is, but he might have a really high floor. Dre Goat said, nah, Adam, 4-10, no need to worry until Kawhi comes back and we lose 8 of 9. We've been here before. I agree. The slow start with Kawhi wasn't crazy. We've been here before. But then they lose him and just plummet, having lost 8 of 9, and they're 1-7 without him. But the last 2 games, there were signs. There were positives. Arvin said, we cannot trade Bogey if the team plans on keeping Harden. He is the only other guy on the roster who can dribble and run pick and rolls. Yeah, I'm assuming they're talking about trading Bogey if it's a complete sell-off. Jeff said, watching from Dubai, your background channels are dark times as Clippers fans. Your background channels, our dark times as Clippers fans. Appreciate you watching, Jeff. Macy said, I'm in my resentful fan phase. Understandable. Metal said, other NBA YouTube channels are saying we are cooked. Well, they're 4-10. They might be right. Nick said, even though it's 4-10, I can't help but admire Harden for his Herculean performance so far this season. Seeing his dedication since joining the Clips has me questioning his previous narratives. I think a lot of people have changed their thoughts about James Harden with the way he has been available and his absolute gas tank that seems to never end, but it will eventually. But he has been so great for this team. Alfonso said, Kobe's shot is always straight. I have confidence that his three-point shooting will stay consistent. Yeah, he's been missing short or missing long. Carlo Jimenez brought this up on the broadcast. Not left or right, short or long. That's what you want to see. Sista One is back after a timeout. Can we sign Oladipo to make up for some offense? Is he still out there in the G League? Plain Man said, just as long as we beat them fakers, snakers. Oh, it's Claybon. It's Claybon. Just as long as we beat them fakers, snakers, Lakers, I'll be content. NKW? What does that stand for? I don't know. You know, I was thinking earlier today, I wish they had a game against the Lakers before they do next week. Because the Clippers always get up for the Lakers. And they were lacking this sense of urgency. And I was thinking, damn it, you know what? I wish within the first 5 games they played the Lakers. Now we got to wait till game, what is it going to be? 17? First sports guru, Hartenstein for Zoo. Hartenstein's not better for Zoo, better than Zoo. He's just on a better team. They're not giving up quickly for Harden, and quickly makes a ton of money. Macy said, I give you credit. Yeah, I hate Ty Lue, but if I give him credit for last year, I have to give him some slack right now. Yeah, a lot of people, they were only praising Jeff Van Gundy last season for the defense. And now, because they said, well, he's the one controlling the defense, not Coach Lue. Yet those same people now are blaming Coach Lue for the defense this year. Inconsistent. Ooh, I like this comp. Ooh, Alfonso is cooking. Kobe Sanders equals young Hito Turkoglu. As someone that grew up in Sacramento and fully believes if Peja didn't come back in that series on the bad ankle against the Lakers in 2002, they would have just won with more Hito, because Hito, he do. Plus, you know, the ref screwed him and all that. Yes, Hito Turkoglu is a good comp. I see it. Macy said, I want Ty Lue to have a reliable star to build his offense around. So does he. Macy said, yeah, Harden is the opposite of Kawhi. He plays every game regardless, even if he's dead tired or hurt. Look, Kawhi's not playing because he's just tired. Like, he's had real injuries, guys. I don't know if we can really question after what happened in 2024 with his knee swelling up out of nowhere again. Like, come on. Kawhi is injury prone. He's unreliable because he's had real injuries. That right leg has been an issue since 2018. Put it up, Ben. It's a real Clippers talk after night because Clay Vaughn's in here. Put that shit up, Ben. Everyone's saying it. Let that shit fly, Kobe. Let that shit fly. Clay Vaughn voice. I hate the Lakers. Was that pretty good? I don't have my soundboard with me. Oh, I think, yeah, we don't have a ton of time left here, guys. Put it up, Ben. Sino Oladipo and Ben. Is Ben Simmons the answer just because he gets Clay Vaughn and his saying back? Put that shit up. Nick said, I'll never forget the night of Put It Up, Ben. Real ones remember. Legendary episode of Clippers Talk After Dark. Yeah, Hito was on the Clippers towards the end. Like, Macy said, you got to stop expecting us all to not have a problem with Kawhi, given he lets us down every year, regardless of his injury-prone status. I understand being frustrated. I just think it's a little illogical to get mad at a guy for something he can't control. But I understand it can be frustrating. Raymond said, thanks for keeping the spirit strong. This too shall pass. We hear. Allie said, put it up, Ben. Clavon says, I see the silver lining in this unfortunate situation. We have the potential to finally develop our own superstar since we slipped up with SGA. I guess he thinks Kobe Sanders is the next superstar. I mean, he's 23 already. Appreciate you, Alex. You're always a big supporter here. I was feeling it tonight. I was at the gym. I was like, man, I just want to talk some Clippers. Some blame Joe Ingles. I understand it. I don't know if you want to call him the Colonel. I don't know if I know Will Updike brought that up. I think it was Will. Somebody brought it up. Clippers group therapy. It's what it is. But I only got like 5-10 minutes left. First of all, the Nico trade is worse because when the Clippers traded SGA, everybody said it was the right move. Check at Follow Adam May, my pin tweet there. I went back and pulled all the analysts then saying what a good move it was, and they weren't even mentioning SGA. You know why? Because he was all rookie second team. SGA was not averaging like 20 points per game when he came out. He was all rookie second team. He was averaging like 10. Nobody knew SGA was going to be this. Nico traded a guy that's been in MVP discussions for years in Luka Doncic. You have to look at what the context was at the moment of the trades. Yeah, I get it. Angels fan and Clippers fan, life is rough. I'm sorry. Nick said, look, you will be rewarded when your teams win. The Angels have won. They beat my Giants in 2002. Thanks, Dusty. Nick said, Kawhi put up such a good performance last playoffs. Plus, he was healthy. Man, that Aaron Gordon dunk still haunts me. And I criticize, you guys all say, oh, you never criticize Coach Lou. I criticize him for Marcus Morris going with him for too long, for Reggie Jackson. I criticized him at the end of game 4. In fact, I was the one who brought it up before the media brought it up with Coach Lou about the personnel out there on game 4. Nobody said anything to him afterwards. I had Law on, and I said, what about the personnel that was out there? They didn't have rebounders. And Aaron Gordon gets that dunk. And then they asked him the next practice before game 5. Y'all say I'm carrying water or whatever. Like, I call it as I see it. I criticize when I think it's fair to criticize. Rank PGY and Harden as Clippers. It depends what you mean. Kawhi is the most talented player to ever put on a Clippers uniform and has put up the greatest performance in a game as a Clipper, his game 6 in Dallas in 2021. That's the greatest performance. Some say, well, Paul George got them to the Western Conference Finals. I can't get with that faulty ass logic. If they don't get out of the first round with a complete carry job by Kawhi, they can't get to the Western Conference Finals. And it was still T-Man dropping 39 in game 6 in the next round anyways. Paul George was good. He was very good in that run, but he wasn't great in the first round against Dallas. That was Kawhi. You can't get to the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi. So I put him ahead of PG. And James Harden, this is only year 2. First full season. So I'd still have him behind Kawhi, but I get everybody's different with that stuff. Yeah. I mean, Sam Presti's good. Yeah, like SGA may not be SGA if it's not for going to the perfect situation where, first of all, he gets tutelage from CP3 his first year there. Then he gets multiple years of experience of getting to make mistakes, win 20 games. Like, it was the perfect breeding ground or seasoning that you could get to eventually turn into this star. I don't know if he ever gets to this level where he's an MVP if he stays with the Clippers. He'd still be really good. I'm not concerned about that. This is interesting from Nick. Raptors on a 9-1 stretch after going 1-4. We are due. Okay. Like that. More positivity. Yeah, John McClain gets it. I don't know if this is a bot just repeating stuff that I've said in the past, But I'm glad John McClain is here. No, I think, John, you've been here before. I just haven't seen you in a while. You were here in Die Hard 1. You were here from the beginning. It was not the dumbest move ever. Do I have to play the video again? Everyone said it was the right move at the time. Every GM does that move at the time. You're getting the finals MVP in Kawhi and Paul George, who just finished top 3 in MVP voting and top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year for a rookie that averaged 10 points per game in SGA. Nobody knew he'd be this good. I do love JaMychal Green. I hope Jordan Miller's not out for an extended period of time, but I'm not sure. And the hamstring's been an issue for him. Clippers could go 9-1 in their next 10 and still be 13-11, only 2 games over 500. Just a disastrous season. Team just looks bad for the most part, besides Harden carry jobs in the Kawhi game winner. Look, the last 3 games have been different. They've looked more closely resembling last year's Clippers. If you can get Kawhi back, with the way they've been playing the last 3 games, you might have something. Yeah, don't tell me the SGA trade was worse. They traded a guy in Luka who had finished top 3 in MVP voting. SGA wasn't he hadn't squashed a grape yet. He had the pass to Landry Shamet. No one knew the upside to this level. We thought maybe all-star. Maybe. That's and then. We don't need to do this. Go to @followx, look at my pin tweet, look at the analysts, look at everybody at the time and what they said about it. Here's my actual imposter, Clippers After Dark avatar being used by, I think, Mio @916 B kid. Nah, the trade for Mo Williams that cost us Kyrie Irving is the worst. Maybe they don't draft Kyrie. Like I can't argue that it's been a disaster so far. Of course it has. I'm just saying, if there's any amount of hope, it has to be what we've seen the last 3 games. And I gotta have some hope. All right. This has been Clippers Talk After Dark. I'm Adam Osland. We will talk to you tomorrow. Pregame show back here, and it'll probably be on the Twitter side @FollowAdamA. Follow me there. I'll do the pregame there, the postgame here. Good to be with you guys. This was cathartic. Cardiac clips are back.